Hello, my friends. Hello, and welcome to this early November edition of Less Fox Friday. This is where I pull a card and share with you what comes up to help us remember that when we give less fox, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, we clear the mental space, we clear the clutter to allow us to remember who we want to be, how we want to show up, and what matters most to us. In other words, when we give less fox instead of the other F word, we create space for clarity. And clarity is something that can inform everything that we do. Every choice we make, every place we go, every decision that becomes ours or that we make ours. So I am pulling from the Zesty Spicy Rebel deck, the sparkly edition, and we're gonna see what comes up. Also hanging out at my favorite local coffee shop today. If you're in Central Mass, I am at the Melody Maker in Clinton, which is in the back of Jack's Mill. Enjoying a large hot coffee and some great ambiance. So let's see what the card is for today. It's upside down, which means it wants our attention. And with the full moon earlier this week, this is time to let go. And the back says, move the fox on. So full moons are typically the time in the lunar cycle, the midpoint of the lunar cycle, in which we are invited to take a step back, assess what's working for us during this lunar cycle, what's not working for us during this lunar cycle, and then just simply, I say, setting down what's not working. So new moon is the time of setting an intention. And an intention can be anything from, self work to something tangible in your home environment, in your work environment. Setting an intention is no more or less mystical than deciding what is it you truly want. That's really the question around setting an intention. And we can do this every month. Every moon cycle, there's a new moon, and every new moon is an opportunity to sit down and really be honest with ourselves and vulnerable and ask, what do I really want over the next month? How do I really want my life to look? What do I really want to bring in? What do I really want to clear out? So, ironically, we got the full moon card, and we just had a full moon a few days ago. You can probably still see the bulk of the face of the full moon. We're in the waning gibbous phase, which means that it's peaked at the full moon and now it's starting to go back down to the crescent and then the new moon again. I think I said that right. We just peaked with the full moon. The moon is gradually going to start to disappear again until we hit the new moon in a couple of weeks. So time to let go, move the fox on. Sometimes when people say to us, just let it go. What's the problem? Why are you holding on to this? The inner response can be, you don't foxing tell me when to let go. Nobody tells me when to breathe during guided meditation, so don't you be telling me what I'm supposed to let go and when. We can build up such resistance, not to letting go, but to letting go, that we will hold on to something out of spite. Speaking for everybody in the room, as a Scorpio especially. So, and sometimes we believe, because we've built it up in our heads, that it has to be a thing, right? I can't just stop thinking about it. I have to bury it in the backyard. I have to burn it in the fire. I have to journal about it forever. I have to keep thinking about how I need to let it go. I have to keep talking about how I need to let it go. Every time we try to create something around this, we are continuing to hold on. Letting go is as simple and not easy as recognizing, oh, I'm thinking about that thing again, that person again, that event again, that thing I said, that thing I didn't say, that thing I did, that thing I didn't do, that thing I should have done, that way I should have shown up. All the stories we tell ourselves. Letting go is as simple and not easy as recognizing, oh, I'm having that thought again, that memory again, and turning our attention somewhere else. Does that mean we're ignoring it? Does that mean we are pretending it didn't happen or it didn't exist or it didn't hurt? No. What it means is when we recognize, oh, there it is again, self-awareness, right? We're being present and conscious with our thoughts, remembering that feelings are not facts, that the first thought I have is not who I am, it's usually who I believe I'm supposed to be. And then when we turn our attention away from that painful memory, from that person we don't want to be, from that person we don't want to be with, from whatever it is that everybody's been saying, let go, let go, let go. When we turn our attention away from it consciously, we are not ignoring it or pretend it didn't happen. We are breaking the hold it has over us. We are taking back our power. So the full moon is powerful. People talk about the power of the full moon, and I am here to testify that the full moon is powerful. And what the full moon can do is remind us to take back our power by letting go of whatever is not supporting us or whoever is not supporting us to be our best selves, to be who we want to be, to show up in the world the ways that we want to show up in the world. So, time to let go, move the fox on. Is it gonna hurt? It might. It might. That is part of being a #human being. Remember that, as the Buddhists say, pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. We all feel pain. As humans, we attach ourselves to the stories around the painful event or the painful experience, and that's what causes the suffering. When we remember, I don't have to keep believing this story, I know it happened, and I don't have to keep giving it my time, energy, and attention, that is when we start to let it go. That is when we begin to move the fox on. If you have thoughts about this, if you have questions about this, if you would like to hear me talk more about this, please drop a comment and let me know. Otherwise, my plan is to be back next week with another Less Fox Friday Sparkly Zesty card. Until we see each other again, please take the very best care.